Hello and welcome to Northern Illinois Biz Chats. I'm your host, Susie, with the Gift Wrap Place, also known as wrapwithbo.com.
And I'm your co-host, George Chase.
These chats are sponsored by wrapwithbo.com
and the George Chase Insurance Agency.
Thanks for tuning in and enjoy this episode of Biz Chats.
Also known as NIB.
So here we are, another episode of Northern Illinois Biz Chats. So, of course, we have another fabulous guest with all kind of interesting things for our viewers to learn about. So why don't you go ahead and tell them who you are.
I am Christine Ditzler, and I am with S&S Repair and Restoration right out of Fox Lake and our second location in Spring Grove.
Oh, very cool. That's coming soon, or
it's open now, but we'll have our ribbon cutting and multi-chamber mixer coming in June.
Oh, good deal.
Yeah. Lot of fun in June we got going on.
Yeah. And it's my birthday week that week, and Jack, so it's going to be super special.
Oh, love
because
to hear about these.
You all are getting her what? Yeah. A box. Exactly what she wants.
Birthday box.
Yes, from the Gift Wrap Place. No doubt.
I do.
And okay, so what is the S&S?
That's Stanzik and Sons. So Jack Stanzik started the company, and with his son helping him out. His son now has gone on to other things, but we're all like a family there, so he kept the name.
So they're local.
They're local, yes. Yeah. So Jack lives right in like McHenry area, runs it with his wife, Marina.
Okay.
And I actually have known Marina longer than I've known Jack. So I used to...
That's fabulous.
Yeah, so I met Marina about 10 years ago. She worked for a different restoration company, and we don't have competitors in our industry. We all talk. We're all very friendly. And Marina and I used to go golfing together.
So that was a great transition for you.
Yes.
Comfortable.
Yes, very comfortable.
It just made sense.
It did.
And you have synergy.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So you get the job done.
That's right.
Okay, so for those who don't understand what the restoration business is about, why don't you explain what restoration is?
A restoration company comes in on your worst day. You want to make sure that you're trusting somebody with your house after you have a flood, a fire, tornado damage, storm damage. You want a contractor that's actually going to show up. Someone who's going to be trusted, who's going to warranty their work, who's going to have the compassion to understand what you're dealing with. And that's what we can do at S&S, is we've got the abilities of referral partners for emergency vets on staff, counselors, relationships
that's a
with
big
hotels,
one.
and temporary living.
Oh, that's a big one.
So you have to have the relationships, and you have to work with a local company that you trust.
So tell us right now in your industry, we're not really suffering through the weather up here, but are you doing some work down south?
No, we do not travel outside of our area. It is crazy.
Yes.
Now, I do have a background in, I am FEMA trained. So I used to be on the emergency response team for Huntley, Illinois on their CERT team. So I have background and training on all of that. But no, as a company, we do not want to travel. We are not a huge CAT team. We are here to take care of our community.
Your community.
Yes.
Which is amazing. But all these storms.
Yes.
These tornadoes, everything's going right underneath us.
They are.
So
there's a lot of reports. So one of my systems that we were talking about systems earlier, that it actually will let me know when storms are hitting different areas.
I love that.
So it's all Southern Illinois have been definitely hit with a lot more than we have. The past year has actually been more ease back for weather-wise. I'm sure you can relate with me on that, George. There has not been any major flooding. There has not been
for our area
any droughts really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just been kind of calm. So.
Yeah, we've been known for being kind of a wind and hail alley. The McHenry County area, communities like Huntley.
How about that hail?
Gwynn Lake, and
wasn't big enough to make damage.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
It was sunny. Walked into the store.
Yeah.
Walked out of the store, and there were golf. But I haven't seen that in a long time.
And somebody a quarter mile away from where you were could have had nothing.
Nothing.
It's really, really bizarre the way it works. And you find that when you go through a claim situation, one part of a neighborhood could have been hit, and the other side of the neighborhood didn't get
So
hit.
did you have anything from that, or
We get calls all the time.
Okay, did you have anything going on with that,
yes,
Hal?
we did. We had a lot of phone calls come out, but we pride ourselves on being the insurance experts and going out there and saying, this is legitimate damage or it's not legitimate damage. Because we don't want a homeowner to file a claim if we know it's not going to be covered.
Perfect.
Yeah. And that's the important thing in our industry is you're going to have a lot of the storm chasers that come through and their numbers game. File a claim, file a claim, file a claim. They don't care about the customers being dropped from their insurance.
Oh,
totally. A zero amount claim is
totally. We had that happen to us. Yeah. The storm came through and the roof, so you get it.
Yeah.
So it was like, we had the guy knock on the door. Yeah. And he's like, you can claim this and you have damage. And we're like, we think we're good.
Yeah.
And they kept calling and persisting on that. That's a really good point.
And you have to be super careful. And I'll tell our homeowner insurance clients the same thing. Remember, his objective is to make a sale, and he wants nothing more than to get you to sign that contract, go to the insurance company. However it works out, they really don't care.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? But you may or you may not have damage, and it's important that you get somebody local. So I'll advise people to
that's great. You two have definitely working relationships.
We have all kinds of synergy. We've been working together for years. Yeah.
Yes.
That's a big deal.
I know that Christine is trustworthy, and I know that Christine is responsive.
Yeah.
And I've texted you at off hours.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Storm will come in, and I'll be like, I'm calling Christine.
Yeah, like water damage.
That's important.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's very important.
It is.
Yeah.
So tell us about your industry now, because I'm seeing restoration everywhere. So I'm seeing the cars, I'm seeing like restoration. So
there was a big push about a year, 2 years ago about this being a recession-proof industry. It's just true because weather is going to happen and things are going to happen. Now, a lot of these franchises then popped up.
Sure.
And that's what they're going to try to hit people.
Sure.
Any way that they can, because their objective as a franchisee owner is to build more franchises. A lot of our industry, they die off really fast because they don't know how to market, number one. They don't brand themselves, and they don't have the utilizations. Equipment is expensive. Employees are expensive, and if you don't have employees on staff, you're just going to get chuck in the trucks that are going to steal from your clients and give you a bad name.
So if I'm interested in becoming, part of this industry,
yes,
or I was thinking about, I heard a little bit of something about that. What should I be looking for? You're
going to want to search them, see what their Google reviews are, make sure that they're, where they're based out of. You're going to look at their social media. And then you're going to reach out and you're going to ask questions to other people in the area that might know them. Yeah. That's really what you want to do, and what do they offer as a company. Now, if you're interested in getting into the company or the business as well, I always say they can always reach out to me. I answer any questions. We have incentives of bringing in new employees that we pay the training for.
So that's great. So they have incentives and they pay for the training.
Yes.
So somebody coming out of high school that's looking maybe to get in the trades of some kind, that's a perfect segue.
That is a perfect segue because not everybody wants to go to college. They don't have, the drive to go to college. This is an opportunity to not only have a job, but make this a career. The more certifications you have, the more valuable you are.
Right, so you can make a very good living at it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sure. So now, are you from McHenry?
I am not. I live in Marengo, actually. So
your whole life, or
no? I grew up in Mount Prospect. I lived there till I was about 21. Then I had moved and gotten married and lived in Hampshire. We had a 7.5 acre horse farm out there.
Another horse farm.
Yeah.
Not a horse farm, people.
I ended up moving to Marengo, and I've been there for over 20 years. I have 4 beautiful children that are now. They don't want to hang out with mom anymore.
So they went to what, Marengo High School? They
all went to Marengo High School, yes. So,
but Marengo's blown up, right?
It
was like population 200. It's now what?
Yeah, it's growing now. They're slapping houses together so fast. Now that we have the water supply that can handle it.
Okay, good. I did see that. Yeah. So local, and the kids are local. They're still young enough to where they're not off anywhere yet, right?
My daughter did buy a house about 4 blocks away from me.
Okay.
She's a NICU nurse, so
okay.
Yeah.
What is with the horses with the daughters that are nurses? That's really something. That was what we had with the other interview.
Today's theme here on
that
NBC.
Is funny.
And then actually George and our sons graduated college together.
Yeah.
Okay.
MCC.
Did they know that each other or no?
Probably not.
No, probably
No,
not.
okay.
No. Well,
So they're
my
same
son went to
age.
Woodstock North. Yours went to Marengo, so they
Yeah.
wouldn't have met unless they played each other in basketball.
Not my son
or-
is not
or
athletic
something
at
like
all.
that.
If it was a chess club, then maybe
Oh.
my son would be part of it.
Oh, yeah, he might have. 'Cause
Okay.
Yeah. Long story for another for another episode. But,
that's fabulous.
So yeah, we just you walked into the graduation at MCC, and yeah.
I love those connections.
That was great.
Yeah.
See?
That was great. Phenomenal. I've known you for years. and-
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now the area that you guys want to service, that's McHenry. So like
Lake County,
Lake County,
Lake County and McHenry County is kind of where we're focusing.
Kane, no.
Not yet. We have to build a little bit bigger to be able to. I mean, obviously, if it's going to be something that's going to be a larger thing that I know that we can handle. When you're sitting there logistically for a job, the drive back and forth, especially for water, it's a lot of checking equipment and doing stuff. We have to make sure it makes sense for us and the customer.
Totally get it.
So,
yeah.
We all deal with that. So give us a story. Tell us about something
Something
interesting.
that's a lot-
Just maybe you helped a client or something that was an interest and they were just so happy, thrilled with something.
So I do that on a daily basis because, and honestly, when you sit there and think about it, when I've been to so many house fires and they've literally just may have lost everything.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So being able to let them know I understand, but my big thing is I want to get there and I want to make sure you're okay. And I want to make sure that I have a hotel right now for you. I'm calling up, I'm going to have a room ready for you. I know you just need to get cleaned up. Let me grab some clothes from your house and wash them for you. I'll meet you at 9 o'clock in the morning the next day. We can talk about what's going forward. But I have the ability to grab their pets and bring them to a vet and keep them for 24 hours to make sure that their pets are okay. It's really about taking care of that customer at that time, but being communicative with the insurance as well, because sometimes insurance agents are the last to know that their client had a fire because they call in right to claims.
It happens.
there you
It
go.
happens.
Yeah.
So I get to call the agent and say, we have a mutual client. This is what happened. I want you to know this is the process that we're going through right now.
So did you have a story together of something?
I've called
Yeah.
Christine a few times about an incident that happened in Lake Geneva several years ago, and that's probably one of our first ones that you helped me out with.
Yes.
I called you about a water damage, a water repair in a high-rise condo building in Chicago.
Yep.
And at that time, you turned me on to the owner of the Chicago franchise,
Yes.
who then helped out. So you're a great resource
Yes.
in that way. But she's always been very responsive.
I will
Yeah.
always answer my phone. I'm always available.
So what was the story? Say it. What was the story? So there was water. What happened?
Well,
We're about stories.
We had in
Say the story.
the Chicago.
Man, the people.
Talk
Let's
about,
go.
Mount Prospect.
Oh, yeah.
Tell a story.
In Mount Prospect last month,
Yes.
a client called me up. I think it was a Saturday morning. We had a bunch of rain. Mount Prospect got dumped on. They had like 6-8 inches
Yeah.
of rain.
Okay, yeah.
And the city sewer systems couldn't handle it.
Oh, no.
She called me up and she said, George, I need help. I've got water coming up through the drains in my floor. It's a total nightmare.
I hate that.
I've got 2 inches of water. It's
Yeah.
wicking up the drywall.
Ugh.
Can you help? And I said, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew exactly who to call. I called Christine.
Yep.
And you were my first call.
All right.
My second call was the claims department of the insurance company
Yep.
to tell them what to expect and what was happening
Yeah.
at this particular house.
So how long did it take to repair that? Because that is a nightmare. That is totally craziness.
Well, all in, I think to get it all done was, it was a couple of week process.
Yeah.
Because they had.
so did they have to move out? Did they have to move out?
No.
It just was in the
put
basement.
The drain
They-
tile system
Yeah.
and the whole bit, and the project manager
Yes.
was great and took great care of them. I got great reports back from our client that
Yeah.
said that everybody was great. They were responsive. They were friendly. They did the work.
And that's an important thing is showing up right away. So we have a 90-minute response time that we're going to be there because the first thing we want to do is mitigate the damage because it stops it from further damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
get there, remove the water immediately, start drying out because now we could be saving floors, we could be saving walls, so that's really our point is to get there right away to minimize damage.
Yeah.
All right, I got a story. So I was having an event at the house, okay? Nothing was flushing and nothing was working. And like everybody was coming. Like there was like 200 people were coming. It was a whole big thing. And so we could hear the gurgling and we could hear all the stuff, right?
Uh-oh.
So we had the guy come out to check the plumbing, right? To
Yeah.
check. And he's like, do you do something with clay? And he's doing that thing in there, and he's like, I'm hitting something.
Okay.
He's like, are you doing something with clay? And I'm like, no clay. Bows. You could go through bows, right? So he's like, no, I'm hitting clay. And we're like, this is insane.
Yeah.
So he's like, the poor guy, he worked on that thing. And we're like, okay, we're calling the big guy, which you know who is for the whole area. We're calling the big guy. This guy doesn't know what he's doing. We're calling the big guy.
Yeah.
Big guy comes in, does the same thing. You know, the big, like, $1,000 an hour person, you know who you are.
I work with them.
So, So he's going like this, and it's hit, same thing. They're like, oh my gosh. So they had to bring out an expert that works with their team. Mm-hmm. And the guy came out and he said, the city was here working on the roads. Yep. I think they capped.
Yep.
Now you can imagine one more flush, it was all coming back into the house.
Yep.
So what the guy did is he went down into the manhole down there and he capped the wrong one. He capped us. Could you imagine?
Yeah.
You guys, could you imagine? Like, what would it... So,
Yeah.
I mean, you think it's the tree, like, and you can have the trees in that.
Yes.
And that's the first thing everyone says is, the trees up in the... No, it was...
Yeah.
Yeah,
like the explosion that happened right out here last year.
Yes, is that nuts? All those houses. Who was that? Now, what do you do about that?
Okay, well, now I mean, there's still pending lawsuits.
Are there?
I saw them. In the
I
paper
did not
the
know
other
that
day,
either.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's crazy.
The good news was no one was hurt in that.
Yes.
But it was the animals. I think they lost the dogs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
I do remember that. Yeah, there was a couple of crews out, contractors who were out that day. They were looking at gas lines, and it was just really, really fortunate that didn't happen when somebody was in the home.
Well, there's the kids also. That's kids across the street. You have the school.
Yeah. So that was, and they lost all those windows. That was sad.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean, that was, 5 houses? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
5.
Well, I live in Marengo, and we had a situation, years ago where a home exploded as well, and 88 homes were affected by it. I remember.
So what is the explosion thing? Is it the gas?
It's the gas. Yeah. So basically, people were out of town, and their hot water heater in the basement, the gas kept filling. Oh. Nobody was checking in it, and wasn't lit, and it ended up just like a spark from the furnace, and then all of a sudden, boop.
That's great information about that. But you can see they weren't home because you can smell the gas.
Yes, you could smell the gas. So I always say when you're away from home for a long distance, like you're taking a vacation or you have a summer home, make sure you're having people check on them. So I give out for free these water shut-off tags.
Huge.
Because do you know where your main shut-off is in your house?
Not a chance.
Okay, so you need to know where that is at because God forbid you have a pipe that bursts.
Because I normally call Jeff.
Yeah, well, you should.
Jeff. I text Jeff to do all that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm always in trouble.
We found out the hard way where our shutoff valve was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, weren't you out of town?
We were on a cruise.
I remember. Didn't you have the thing because you had to call Ace?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike.
Yeah. We were on a cruise, and I was talking with my son, and he goes, there's something going on. We've got this water spraying out of this pipe, and it's damaging the drywall.
And he didn't know what to do. Yeah.
Well, he found it. Well, it turns out the shut-off handles were kind of old, but he found out where they were, and he turned them off.
He did, okay.
And they didn't turn off the water.
No.
So we had to get the city out, and they turned it off out at the street.
So what happened? Were you totally flooded?
It wasn't too bad. Yeah.
I would think, because it can flood so fast.
You want a story? Do you want?
It was.
Yes, tell a story. It's all about it. Yeah.
So I'm in the business, right?
Yeah.
I have a bad habit. I have a bad habit of redoing my house every 10 years. Everything has to go. Toilets go, flooring goes, furniture goes.
So as you guys can tell, restoration pays well.
I know. Actually, what pays well is a home maintenance account. This is something my parents taught me to have growing up. That you put
your health maintenance.
Yes, you put $200 to $400 in an account because you're going to need to replace your roof. You're going to need a hot water heater. You're going to need new appliances. So I always put money a month every month away for a home maintenance thing.
Okay, so this time was different.
This time is different, and I also live in a small townhome, so it's not like 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, but it's not huge. It's not huge.
Right.
Well, I just redid my whole house. Cabinets had just got put in, new, it's in my kitchen, new flooring. I got an island. Everything's wonderful. Well, guess what?
What happened?
My toilet upstairs, second, the tank dropped. Brand new toilet. They didn't install it right.
Oh,
so then what happened? Let's say the story. What happened?
My whole kitchen ceiling fell down.
Honey.
Oh my God.
Were you home?
I was home, and then I, at the time, worked at my insurance was Comparian, and I called my agent and said, so listen to this.
Do you know that story? Okay.
So here's what happened. So it's like, okay, so now I had to file a claim and go through the whole process, have crews come out and dry me out, and yeah, it was
okay, so it didn't
with me.
So it didn't all land on you and you were on the floor.
No,
trying to hit a button of some kind.
No, actually,
okay.
I was there trying because I saw it coming, and I saw it so I was poking holes
Oh.
in the trying to mitigate it that way. But it didn't work. It just went.
Oh.
Yeah.
I am honestly.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild. Yeah.
Oh, we could go on for days.
Oh, there's
all fun stories.
There are a lot of fun.
It's all great stuff. So, do your kids want to be in the restoration business or not a chance?
They have all worked for me. So
again, legacy stuff.
Back,
I love that.
a couple of years back, we were, I was working with another company, and we get a call, and it was a 3-story memory care facility, and we needed all hands on deck. It's Christmas Eve. We're opening presents. I stop, I look at my kids, and I say, everybody get their boots on. We got to go to work.
Yeah.
Because it's not about us. There's lots of clients that need help, and they need help. So
I love
my
that.
kids up, and they all have their own boots. They put their jeans on, and we went to work on Christmas
But
Eve.
that is so great for them to learn hands-on.
Yes.
Hands-on where the water valve is.
Yes, exactly.
You can do a test of most kids. You're like, okay, if you're going to work here, where's this?
Exactly.
No clue.
You know, and a lot of parents have to teach their kids things, basic needs in construction, because a lot of kids, they have no idea how to do anything.
Huge.
So, my garage door, one of the wheels was broke off.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
I can fix that. I know how to fix it, but no, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to teach my son how to do it so he can do it next time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, all those things, the plumbing in my, I wanted to change out the plumbing underneath my kitchen because I saw it was kind of, I live in Marengo. We have a lot of, rusted, lead. It's high.
Yeah, of course.
So
McHenry, hello, welcome.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
can't do much about it.
Yeah, so, keep an eye on your plumbing and make sure that you're replacing, the pieces and all your wonderful things. But I teach my kids how to do it so they can do it.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
You know, but it wouldn't, don't be afraid, if you're someone that's interested in this and you never really learned it, you can teach.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can teach the craft.
Well, and not only that, it's just knowing utilization. So people even want to reach out to me. I'm friends with tons of plumbing companies, tons of HVAC companies, tons of even questions. So when he has a problem, I just need a plumber. He's going to call me because I know who's on call. I know who's 24/7 in the area. I know who can handle that job.
That's great, you guys.
So
yeah.
She's a one-man resource over here, this girl.
She sure is.
Yeah, it is. For all housing, huge.
Yeah.
All right, you want to do your gig? Okay.
Are we ready for 2 truths and a lie?
Two truths and a lie. All right, let's say.
So.
I am one of 7 girls in my family, no boys. I have never ridden a bike in my life, and my first degree was finance.
Let's see. First degree finance, a lie?
I'm going to go with the 7 girl family as the lie.
You would know that, though.
You're both wrong.
I don't know it.
We're both wrong!
Hey.
Wrong.
It's a tie.
What is it?
I know how to ride a bike.
That one just seemed so...
Yeah.
It has to be true. It has to be true. If you threw it out there,
Yes.
it had to be true.
I'm not liking this thing. I'm not liking it.
Yes.
We're not getting this right. They're good at this game.
Yeah.
Aren't they good at
I
this
got a
game?
great poker face.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it.
Yeah.
I just got to learn how to play poker now.
So we're 1 and 2. We had a win with Linda.
Yes.
We didn't get a win with Adam, and we did not get a win with
You know what
Christine.
I'm going to do? I'm going to win this thing. I'm going on Facebook. I'm doing research. I'm doing research on these people.
We want to end the day at 500. So when we meet Arlene and we talk with Arlene later, we'll see if we can.
Oh, Arlene, she's gonna be really tough. It's gonna be. She's
Talk
gonna
about
be.
a poker
She
face.
will definitely. She will definitely pull that off.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah,
funny.
yeah.
Okay, so what else you want to say?
Yeah.
Anything else that they need to know? Tell them how to reach
Tell
you.
us how to reach you, how to reach SNS websites, Instagram, Facebook.
Yes, so SNS, you can find us on Google at snsspecialties.com. Our office number is 815-900-8016, and it is a 24-hour emergency number. So no matter what you call in the morning, in the middle of the night, on the weekends, we're always there available to answer any calls. Find us on Facebook. Not Instagram yet, but at LinkedIn.
Okay.
We're getting there. But otherwise, look for me on Facebook. I'm always reachable. I'm always pushing out education. But I would love to also say, in general, volunteer in your community. I am 100%, I volunteer a lot with a lot of different things. As a business, you have to volunteer and be a part, because if you're not and you don't show up, no one shows up for you.
No one volunteers more than her.
Yeah.
She does get the top prize for volunteering. You do.
It's good for your business. It's good for your relationships. It's also good for me to be able to reach out to, businesses and say, I know you need to be around these types of other businesses. Let me facilitate it and make it happen for you.
It's a beautiful advice for
I think
other
it's good
businesses.
for the soul too.
It is.
Yeah, makes you feel good.
It does.
It's fabulous. It's fabulous. Okay, well, here we go. We are done with another episode of Northern Illinois Biz Chats. Thanks for coming in. And that is tuning in to another episode of Northern Illinois Biz Chats.
And don't forget to follow us on socials to see more local businesses.
And that's it for us until next time.
That's a wrap.